So how did you, since you mentioned Nike, because Nike was one of the things I was going to talk about. How did you hook up with Nike? Because you were, oh, you worked with them for several years, if I'm correct.
Yeah. So
Right?
they saw me at 55th. They saw me. So if you remember, they had an All-Star game. It was like they had the All Cotton Club. So they had like that's what it was called. So they had like all my guys on there, and they had a dunk contest, and I didn't win that dunk contest. And so Gerry Erasme, who was the brand manager at the time, he was like, "Yo, like," she
Yep.
was like, "Yo, like, we gonna do this. We're gonna do this dunk contest at Cipriani, and so I want you to be in it." So I did. So I actually won that one, and the we were gonna go to the All Star because it was called the People's Jam. So at the time, if you remember, at the time NBA All Star was getting very corporate, pretty much like how it is now, and so they were like they wanted to do something different. They wanted something where the people could be involved, and so it was this People's Jam dunk contest. So before the dunk contest, we went to Toronto to shoot at the Dr. Funk commercial. So it was like the one that was like out in Rucker Park and Bobbito was announcing and stuff. So we do that commercial first, and Vince, I'm like, yo, can you teach me your reverse 360? So he does. And so, we in the back there, we dunking, we going back and forth. And I was actually his body double for like for all those commercials. So we got pretty cool. And so fast forward, we get to the dunk contest, and he's a judge.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna stop there. I'm gonna take you back. So as you said, we played in a lot of tournaments. West Fourth was one of those tournaments. And West Fourth All Star, they had a dunk contest, and like the winner of the dunk contest got a big ass trophy and big ass TV, and got bread. So Conrad McCrae, God rest his dead, Rad had won the dunk contest a few times, and for this All Star, I was like, nah, I'm winning that dunk contest. So, and I literally Dorian was just talking about this the other day when I seen him in LA. So that whole day before we went to work out together, I think we had a game somewhere, and then we had the All Star game. So me and Rad was together the whole day. We get to the dunk contest. I'm just killing it. He's just doing his thing. Now he takes a director's chair, he puts it by the basket, has somebody sit in the chair. He gets a basketball, he lights the ball on fire with nail polish. He jumps on the side of the chair. He didn't jump over. He jumped on the side, took it, missed. They was like, oh, crazy. I'm like, he ain't do shit. I bet. He lights it again. He dunks it. They're like, oh, this is crazy. I jump over like 3 people. He wins the dunk contest. We driving home. He looks at me. He's like, yeah, man, you beat me. I'm like, yo, give me the trophy. Or the TV. What? You sell? He's like, nah. So, and then, God rest his dead. Then Rad passed away, right? Yeah. So, so to honor him, I said, I'm going to light the ball on fire, and I'm going to do what you didn't do. And so, at the time, I had been playing with the Harlem Wizards because, you want to trying to make some money, still playing ball. And on Bernard A-Train, we had a routine where he would, he's dribbling, and then like he would pretend he's going to the basket. He would stop short, drop down, and then he'd bounce the ball high. I'd jump over him and dunk it. So for this dunk contest, it was me as a dunker, and then he also had like a dribbler. So obviously A-Train was going to be the guy because he's nice. So I wasn't worried about it. The 2 days before the All-Star game, they had a game in Chicago, and I don't know why I didn't go on that trip, but the plane had a rough landing, and so A-Train was hurt. He couldn't go, and so my man Chris Franklin, I called him up like, yo, Chris, Mr. Handles. I'm like, yo, can you come to DC? I need you. He's like, yo, bet. So he comes to DC, and again, A-Train and I had been practicing the dunk, so we had our timing down, but I couldn't practice it with Chris, and so we were in the hotel, getting the timing down, get to practice. You can't do it in front of everybody, right? So you can't, nothing. So we get to the dunk contest, and Vince sees me. He's like, yo, you got to show me something. You ain't getting a 10. You got to show me something. So it's Vince, Rasheed, and Gary Payton was the judges. First dunk was the reverse 360. I do that. 10, 10, 9. All right. Second dunk was you got to jump. Who could jump from the furthest? So I jumped like 2 steps behind behind the free throw line. I win that. Then, and all these guys are missing dunks left and right because just nervous. You got the whole crowd packed, you know, but being from New York, playing in front of everybody, playing for the Harlem Wizards where you're dunking every day, just, you know, it was nothing. So then finally, the last dunk, I go in the bag, I get the nail polish out, put on the ball, and they're like, what is this guy doing? I put Chris under the, like, at the dots, and I told him, like, just hold the ball here, show the ball up like this, and then when I come running up, just throw it straight up. And that's what he did. So once it was lit, held the ball, and everyone's like, the ball's on fire. He throws the ball straight up, I catch it, and they said the ball stayed lit until I actually dunked the ball. And then once I dunked it, I looked at Vince like, what? He was like, you get the 10. So that was that after that, you know, Nike was like, yo, whatever you need, whatever you want, you know, we took off. And great relationship. You know, G took me in, and we, you know, he taught me really like the marketing aspect of it, you know, beyond just like, hey, come do this commercial, hey, come do this tour. It's like here's the plan. Here's what the plan is about nationally. Here's what our piece of that is. And here's how it's going to drive business. And here's how we're going to, you know, get you guys involved. So, yeah, I was like, okay, this is what I could do this. Sure.
Yeah. I definitely got to shout out to Gerry Erasme. I try to get him to come on here, but, you know, Jerry's like, you know, real private. So it's like, I figured he would just do it because, like, you know, we've known each other since like the 60s. But he's like said, I was like, I get it. So I figured I'd just ask anyway. And I had Bobbito on here about a little more than a month ago.
Okay.
So, and you know, we had the Nike conversation, and like I said, the one thing I knew about Nike is Nike always took care of people. Because Gerry was with them for like 90 years, you know, and Bobbito was there for a while as well. So I know Nike definitely took care of their people. But since like when you started getting the action plans with the marketing from Gerry, like what propelled you to actually, because if I'm correct, you went to Purdue University to get your MBA.